Okay guys, just thought I might do a recap of the meeting in Hobart on Saturday the 18th of November in Hobart. Good for hot day. Track played very on speed, leader dominated for the day, so a little bit difficult to analyse some of the runs, but we'll just run through them anyway. The first race, 1600 metre maiden, and Fancy Dan's and Kandahar were clearly the best two runs in a similar race a couple of weeks ago, and dominated again. Couple of them went a bit quick early, allowed run on horses to get into the race, and Fancy Dan's was the freshest late. They clearly beat the rest, and it's just whilst I'm on this, this race here probably typifies exactly why Tasmania is a great place to bet. Always harping on about measuring apples with apples, which you can do in Tasmania, and probably best illustrated by this race. So I just did a screenshot in paint. So this was a result here, General Sussex race a fortnight ago over the same track and distance. And if we just have a look, General Sussex, Fancy Dan's ran second. This is the result of yesterday's race. He won. Kandahar, Teddy's Fault, Crystal Pass, and Hell Baby. So, fortnight ago, same track and distance. General Sussex won, but second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth finished first, second, fifth, third, and fourth. When you analyse the General Sussex race, clearly the second and third best runs in the race for Fancy Dan's and Kandahar. Impossible to see anything else beating them home. And if you shop right, you could have got close to $4 Fancy Dan's and $3 Kandahar. So it was less like being given finding money in the street, race one. So, but as I said, probably the one thing from the race, like the form's obviously holding up. So Kandahar's ultra consistent. Fancy Dan's, now it's broken through over this type of trip. Be consistent again, and obviously puts a big stamp on the form of General Sussex going forward, as well as beat those same horses clearly last time. So it's race one. The 2-year-old, hard not to be impressed by GG's second over. Times are pretty good. If the race was 1100 metres, it would have won by 10 lengths. So looks promising going forwards. GG Queen Bee. Jury's out on whether she's a speedy squib or not, but without being too harsh, it certainly appears that way. But yeah, but the winner might be quite promising, but obviously always difficult to tell when they're all on debut exactly where they're all at fitness-wise and how they'll progress. The third, first two dominant here. Quick Wheel led. Ran home decent sectionals, did a bit of work early, so merit in the win. Mandela Effect backed and beaten again. In his defence, like he was hard ridden all the way, so probably looking for a bit further than 1100 metres. And his 3 defeats, he's got back in what have turned into be very on-speed dominated tracks. So whilst he's gone under at short odds, there have been legitimate excuses, but must admit I haven't been burnt by him yet, but if you've been on, it's difficult to back up again when he's gone under at short odds 3 times in a row. But as to win, so the rest of these all finished pretty much in a group, but I thought the best 2 runs were of the rest were GG's Cash Cow and Lioness. Both made pretty good ground there late, so out of the race. So first 2 and the 6th and 7th horses will probably identify there. The fourth, it's a pretty boring race to watch. Boxer Frogs led, got over Murder, Kick for Home, was home at the 500, nothing made an inch of ground. Tended to be the, I think sort of last 5 races, 4 leaders won, I think, and the other one was a staying race, which was race 5, and a few of these went let's just say a few of the rides early in the race left a bit to be desired. You've only got to look at the last 600. I know it's a 2,100 metre race, but it's about 25 lengths slower than the average for the day. But the one thing we can take from the race, because it was so truly run, was that the best two stayers ran first and second. Moorcroft had a best run in the race, but was dominant. Chief Navigator was very good actually in defeat. 3 deep, no cover, the trip on a hot speed, boxed on very well. His turn has to come soon, surely. Ken Pugiv Toracane raced a bit keenly on a extremely hot speed, so sort of forgiving getting tired late, and a few of them they sort of lost sight of the lure, but were still entitled to make ground given the closing sectional. So yep, just the first two, especially over this trip and even further, both of them give the impression that even 2400's not going to be an issue. The 6, probably the highlight race of the day. Given the pattern, the first two and the sectionals, 33.95 home, very difficult for anything to make ground. And with the on-speed bias, obviously, Gigi Lynette's jockey lost the irons, may have been the difference between winning and losing. Probably was, if truth be told. But still plenty of merit in both of them. Mr. Songman, given the pattern for the day's run, was super. Lost the compass on the turn, then hung in the straight, and you know, he's probably run home 33.5 himself. You can't run much quicker than that, so still huge merit. Like, you can't do anything wrong when they're running home those sectionals, let alone come wide and hang in. So his effort, still huge merit in the performance for him. And one here that went super was Nordic Thunder. Going to be interested to see exactly what its closing sectionals were when the Stride Master data comes out, but through the outside gate, had to be eased back to last, hitting the line stronger than anything, so probably looking at a longer trip, but definitely going to be winning races this time in. Nordic Thunder, going to be a good form race this, obviously. So the 7th, obviously exemplified the on-speed fence bias as well. Galileo Cerdo, he's always shown a ton of speed. The last little bit of his race has always been the issue, but just never looked like being beaten. Boart, South Somalia had their chance. Fascinating Lady blew the start, sort of settled to clear last, so it's probably the run of the race. Did come up the fast lane. Stuck to the fence, so may have been a tad flattered to get as close as it did. And you can see a lot of the rest of them got beaten a long way, but off the fence was a dead set no-go zone by this time. And the last, it just exemplifies how, when you tip horses early, how silly it is sometimes. I probably had Century Duty about 4th pick when initially did the form, but over the course of the day, with all the leaders and fence domination late in the day, you had a horse who's going well, drawn barrier 1, and was going to lead. Finished up having a decent bet on it. Anyone watched my preview, I didn't even mention it, I don't think. Turned into a really good result for me, just led. Given the pattern, GG's Grand Lodge was good, and so was player 1. So, it's sort of, you know, they still got beaten a fair way, so probably can't follow them with too much confidence. So on a tricky day, the ones to follow, we're going to make Nordic Thunder. Obviously want a bit further in 1100. And sorry about that, I just had to have a coughing fit. Both GG's Cash Cow Lioness went okay. Yeah, so Nordic Thunder's probably the only one, but in the other one we mentioned, General Sussex, even though it didn't race, it only won a maiden last time, but the form has really stood up. So I think it can be followed with some confidence going forward. So there's just a quick recap. Won't show any replays. Actually, I might show race 6, just the Nordic Thunder run, just to point out the one that I'm
over the 11.
black booking. So it's drawn the outside gate in the green and white colours. So you see it jumps okay, but because it's drawn extreme outside, it's just eased. So here it is here last. And you see, remember they ran on 33.95, and you know they're at the 600 metre point there. So it's what 7 or 8 lengths off the first two. So it's must have gone close to breaking 33 sec. Got beaten about 4 lengths, so it's finished about there. So it's going to run low 33s its last 600 metres. You know, you can't go much quicker than that. And even Mr. Songman here, as we point out, you know, he loses the compass a little bit on the turn. And you see his Nordic Thunder back here. I said probably the thing about its run is the last 100 metres of it. Sort of very strong late. And also did trial very well at Longford leading into the race. Beat Patina Arena at the trials, again running home well. So I think that's the one. And the other thing we can see here, just while I've paused it, you can see obviously lost the irons on GG Lynette's, which obviously made a difference in the driving finish. So anyway guys, we might just wrap it up there, keep it short and sharp. So, but as I mentioned, it's a big selling point on Tassie that measuring apples with apples, and as we pointed out, nothing exemplifies it better than race 1, when you had exactly the same virtual field bar General Sussex going over the same track, same distance as a fortnight ago, and as the results show, you can bet with confidence on races in the island. So anyway, that's it from me, and we'll catch up with a preview for Wednesday night. Cheers guys.